They met under streetlights where the air felt safe. Lila listened while Mara named a fear she had not said aloud. A new job offer in another city. A choice that might cut one bond to save her own peace. Hours later, Kev repeated the same detail word for word. He smiled like he knew her better than she knew herself. He also knew where she would stop for tea on her way home. The group chat lit up with jokes that only landed if someone had fed lines to an audience. A shared album ping placed her face inside a moment she did not post. A friend waved from a corner table with the same drink she had picked in a private voice note. Small world, they said. She heard something else. She heard the click of a latch. Secrets had turned into tools. The only question left was who held the key. Mara and Lila walked slow along the block where the trees made a soft roof. Their steps matched without effort. It had rained before sunset. The road held a thin shine. Mara spoke first. She told Lila about the offer. A role in another city with better pay and a real chance to breathe. She lowered her voice on that last part. She wanted space from late-night tests, from drop-ins, from the feeling of being watched even in her own kitchen. Lila nodded. She kept her hands in her coat. "You deserve air," she said. "Say yes if it brings you back to yourself." The words brought relief. Mara had rehearsed this talk all week. She picked Lila because their trust had history. High school notes, college moves, long walks like this one where they told the truth without fear. They reached the corner bodega and stopped for tea. The bell over the door chimed. Lila paid. They leaned on the outside bench and watched a bus breathe at the stop. Mara checked the time on her phone and tucked it away. For a minute, life felt simple again. She could pick the path that served her future and let the old noise stay behind. Her phone buzzed. Group chat. 3 friends and Lila shared memes and quick polls through the day. A new message sat on the lock screen. It was a joke about airport love and long hugs at Gate B. It would have been harmless on any other day. She had told no one about the offer. She had also told no one about her habit of watching couples at the airport when she felt stuck. Lila knew that habit. The chat did not. Mara slid the phone back into her pocket. She kept talking. She spoke about rent and timing and old bills. She kept the shape of the offer off the table. A car rolled by with a song from last summer. Lila hummed. The street felt calm. 2 birds fought for a perch on the wire above them and then settled. They parted near the crosswalk. Lila hugged her and said, "Text me when you decide." Mara nodded. She crossed with the light. At mid-block, she turned and saw Lila still on the corner. Lila lifted a hand. Then she looked down at her own phone. The screen lit her face. Lila began to type. Mara reached her building and took the stairs. 3rd floor. 2nd door on the right. She set the tea on the counter and opened the window to let the damp air out. Her phone buzzed again. "Kev," he wrote, "so proud of you. That new city fits you. T-spot by the bus stop is cute on you." She read the lines twice. Her chest went tight. The tea on the counter lost heat. She had been at that bench for 10 minutes. He had not been there. No one had tagged her in a post. She checked the shared album by reflex. A fresh ping from a friend who loved candids. The thumbnail showed a smear of lights and 2 figures. She tapped. The photo was wide and soft. The bench sat near the edge. She and Lila were in frame. The caption said, "Night walks cure the day." The post time matched the minute before Kev's text. Mara set the phone face down. The room stayed quiet except for a fridge cough. She rolled her shoulders to knock loose the tightness. She told herself to slow down and list what she knew. A friend had shared a photo without asking. The group chat had made a joke that fit a private habit. Kev spoke like he had heard her talk under streetlights. Her mind cut back to last month. He had shown up at the cafe by her office and laughed about psychic timing. He had said he knew her routes by heart. It came off as sweet in the moment. He placed a small gift on the table. A book she had loved at 16. He called it Fate. She had posted one sentence from that book during a late-night scroll years ago. She walked to the sink and ran cold water. She drank from her palm. She closed the window and stood still to listen. City sound rose and fell in waves. A siren far off. A laugh on the sidewalk. She breathed until her heart slowed. Her phone buzzed again. Kev asked if she wanted to meet at the tea place. He wrote the cross streets. Then he sent a photo of the bodega sign. The image came from a slight angle. Not from the bench. Not from the sidewalk across the street. The angle looked like the corner window of the laundromat next door. Mara typed back. No. Home already. Early start tomorrow. She kept the tone flat. He sent a heart. Then, call me. 2 minutes. She let the request sit. The screen dimmed. Group chat pinged again. Another joke. Gateby calls the brave. The humor landed wrong. She scrolled up. The same friend had posted a short video earlier in the day. Street clips. Faces. Hands. It ended with a quick pan across that same bodega. No tags. No names spoken. The friend loved to film and share. Most days it felt like background music in their thread. Tonight it felt like a map. She opened her notes app. She wrote a single line. Streetlight talk with Lila. Tea at bodega bench. Group chat joke about airport. Shared album photo with bench. Kev text with new city and tea spot. Photo from laundromat angle. Then she added the time next to each item. She avoided guesses. Only what was on her screen and what she had seen with her own eyes. She sat on the edge of the bed and let the notes rest. She pictured the circle around her. Lila, the friend with the camera. 2 others in the chat who loved to stir the pot. Kev 1 ring outside. He had charm and a way of making every detail look like a lucky strike. She had liked some of that at first. Doors opened. Tables opened. Lines moved. She heard the click, then, in her own head. The same click she had heard in the hook of a song. Not music. A lock set by small hands. Open here. Close there. Share this. Nudge that. She had not minded small shares when she felt safe. She minded tonight. She stood and turned off the kitchen light. She left the lamp in the living room on low. She texted Lila. Thanks for the walk. I needed it. A pause. Then she added one more line. My private news stays with me until I say otherwise. She read it once. The words were clear. She hit send. Lila wrote back fast. Always. I got you. 3 hearts followed. Mara watched the bubbles appear, then pause, then return with a sticker. She put the phone down. She wanted to trust those lines. Trust needed more than lines tonight. She changed into a soft shirt and folded the day into a square on the chair. She brushed her teeth and watched her face in the mirror. Calm on the surface. A small pulse at her throat told another story. She climbed under the blanket and stared at the ceiling until her eyes grew heavy. Sleep drifted in and out. In one thin dream, she walked an airport corridor with no gates. Doors kept sliding past without numbers. She woke at 3:12 a.m. and wrote the time in her notes without a reason. She looked at the door. She listened. The building stayed quiet. At 7:15 she rose and made eggs. She poured tea and tried not to think about the bench. The phone stayed on the counter. She dressed for work and slipped the phone into her bag. At the door she paused and looked back at the small speaker on the shelf. It sat dark and mute. A gift from Kev from weeks earlier. He had said it would make nights easier. She had liked the music at first. Then she felt watched by an empty shelf. She left it unplugged and locked the door. On the train she studied faces. No one looked back. She read a page of a novel and tucked it away. A stop before hers, a message came in from Kev. Lunch near your office. 12:15. Your favorite place has a table. She had not told him her schedule. She had not given him the name of the place. He still named it. She typed one line. No lunch today. She added a period and put the phone away. At her desk, she opened her notes and read the list again. She added one more line at the bottom. Mark the leak. Date. Time. Promise. She wrote the promise under it. She kept it short so she would follow it. No one shares my private news without my say. She saved the note and closed the screen. She would keep the day quiet. She would watch without fear and collect only what was in front of her. The leak had a shape now. She did not know the full route. She knew enough to start. She breathed out and set her shoulders. She marked the leak with a date and a promise to herself. Mara reached her desk and found a small box tied with string. No card on top. A coworker said a courier dropped it and left. She slid the ribbon loose and lifted the lid. Inside sat a thin bracelet with a single charm shaped like a tiny lighthouse. She had loved lighthouses as a kid. She had posted one photo years ago from a trip with Lila. She had said on a voice note once that the light made her feel steady when nights ran long. The charm matched that note more than the photo. It was exact. It felt like someone had taken a sentence from her mouth and turned it into metal. Her phone buzzed. Kev wrote, "A small mark to keep your night steady." She stared at the screen. The line sounded like the voice note. She had sent that note to Lila on a hard week. She had never said those words to him. She typed back 2 words. Thank you. She kept her face calm when a coworker walked by. He asked about lunch. She said she would eat at her desk. She closed the box and slid it into her bag. She felt watched by a charm that did not blink. The day moved slow. She finished a client note and filed a report. She drank water and tried not to loop the text. At 4, she checked the group chat and found a quick invite to meet for a drink. A small bar 2 blocks from the train. She said yes. She wanted normal noise that did not feel like surveillance. At 6, she pushed the door open and found the room half full. Low light. A smell of citrus and wood. Lila waved from a corner table. 2 others from the chat sat with her. They looked relaxed. They looked safe. Mara let her shoulders drop and took the chair near the wall. A server set down a drink she had not ordered. It was her favorite. The garnish matched the one she picked on her birthday 2 years ago. She had posted the drink then. She had not ordered it now. She looked at the server. I did not ask for this. Gentleman at the bar, he said. She turned. Kev stood near the end of the counter. He had taken off his jacket and hung it on one finger. He smiled that cool, ready smile. He lifted his glass as if they had planned it. He walked over like a man who knew every table by name. Small city, he said. I guessed I might find you here. Lila laughed. Everyone slides through this place after work. She glanced at Mara. He probably saw us when he walked past. Take the drink. It is on him. Mara nodded. She took 1 sip and set the glass down. Kev pulled a chair from an empty table and sat at their edge. He placed his phone face down. He spoke like he had known these people for years. He named 3 bands Mara liked and told a neat story about seeing one of them before they got big. His details matched things she had said in old messages. He said he had been reading a novel she loved at 16. He quoted a line and waited for her to react. She kept her face still and said the book held up. He said he knew she would say that. He ordered a plate they both liked. He said he had a feeling. The table drifted to talk about trips and food and work. Kev watched Mara's hands when she spoke. He let his answers match her tone. He used the same phrases she used. He said he was a night person only when she admitted she worked best after 10. He said he had stopped drinking coffee the same week she did. He made the match look easy. Mara felt her chest tighten. She remembered the bench, the shared album, the text from last night. She cut the thought to one clean line in her head and let it pass. She would not lose herself to a loop in a loud room. He leaned in. I brought you something today. He said it like a secret between old friends. Left it at your desk. Hope that was not too much. The bracelet, she said. He smiled. You told me once how the light kept you steady. She looked at him. When did I tell you that? He blinked and tilted his head. We talk all the time. I remember the good lines. Lila put a hand on Mara's arm. He has a strong memory. Do not read into it. We all talk. It blends. She kept her voice light. She changed the subject to a show they wanted to see. She named a date and looked at the table for votes. Kev picked the same date without pause. He said he already had a backup plan if tickets sold out. He said the venue changed their seat map last month. He knew the best rows. He knew the way to avoid a long line. Mara let the talk go around her. She watched how he tracked her. When she reached for water, he did too. When she laughed, he smiled a half beat later. When she shifted in her chair, he mirrored the angle. It would look like chemistry to someone who wanted a story. It felt like a rehearsal to her. He told a quick tale about his childhood dog after she mentioned a pet from her teens. He matched the breed. He matched the way the dog slept near the door. He matched the tone she used when she said loss had made her slow down. It sounded like a script built from pieces of old posts and messages. The bill came. He reached for it with an easy hand. He said it was nothing. He said he had been lucky this month. He liked to share. Mara thanked him and stood. She said she needed an early night. He stood too and offered to walk her to the train. I am set, she said. I want to clear my head. Call me when you land at home, he said. I want to know you are safe. She nodded without making a promise. Lila hugged her at the door. You good? Lila asked. I am fine, Mara said. Outside, the air was cool. She walked 2 blocks before she checked her phone. Kev had sent a playlist that matched songs she had liked in college. The title used a phrase from an old caption. Lila sent a winking face and wrote, He is trying. Then, it is a small city. We all bump into each other. Mara typed, maybe. She added one more line. No plans shared without clear consent. She hit send. The train came quick. She stood near the door and watched the black glass turn to her reflection when the car slid into a tunnel. She looked steady on the outside. Her mind worked like a quiet file clerk inside. She put small facts in order. He knew the bar. He knew the drink. He knew the book, the gift, the words. He mirrored her likes with no gaps. Lila made it sound like a city thing. She wanted that to be true. She did not have proof that it was not. At home, she set the bracelet on the counter and stepped back. It was a pretty object. It did not carry a threat by itself. The threat lived in the pattern it marked. She washed her hands and made tea. She sat at the table and wrote a short list. Do not post tonight. Do not check old posts to see what he had seen. Sleep. Work. Watch. She opened an old photo album on her phone and scrolled with care. There were years of smiles and quiet days. There were captions that read like younger versions of her thinking out loud. There were also small bits a person could turn into a puzzle. A favorite seat by a window. A Sunday walk loop. A color she picked when tired. Nothing harmful alone. Too neat in a row. She closed the album and placed the phone face down. She did not need to chase evidence to feel the shape of this. The shape was a man who built rapport with borrowed pieces and a friend who smoothed moments that should have snagged. The next day, she met Lila for a quick coffee near the park. Lila arrived late and out of breath. She looked sorry before she sat. He means well, Lila said. He is intense. That is his way. He wants to be thoughtful. He hears things and holds them. Not everyone has bad intent. I want space, Mara said. I want my words to stay where I put them. I get it, Lila said. I told him to slow down. Maybe I said too much trying to help. I thought the bracelet would make you smile. I did not think it through. She looked down at her hands. I should have asked. Mara kept her voice even. Ask next time. I am not a surprise person. Lila nodded. Noted. She tried a joke about the city being a village. She tried a line about the bar being the only place anyone goes on a weeknight. She tried to make the night sound like chance. Mara listened. She let each line pass like a bus she did not need to board. She did not argue. She also did not agree. She repeated her one clear rule. No plans shared without clear consent. She looked at Lila until the words landed. Okay, Lila said. Got it. They walked to the corner and hugged. Lila checked her phone before they parted. Mara watched the reflex and felt a pinch in her chest. It was a small thing. It meant nothing on its own. She let it go. At her office, a small package waited on her chair. No note this time. She opened it and found a book of poems by the same author she had quoted at 16. A ribbon marked a page she had once underlined. The line spoke about seeing without being seen. It was a good line. It was not an accident. She set the book on the shelf with the spine turned in. She took a breath and went back to work. She would not fixate. She would not spiral. She would track. That night, Kev texted a photo of a dish from a place she liked. He said, I ordered your thing. He listed the exact order she had made 3 times in the past year. He said he liked it too now. He said their tastes matched everywhere. She typed one word. Cool. She did not add a heart. He sent 3 hearts anyway. Then he sent a 10-second voice note full of warmth and shared jokes. He used a line she had said to Lila last month when work ran her down. It landed wrong from his mouth. She put the phone aside and stepped onto her balcony. The street below held the usual sounds. She watched a couple carry a box up a flight of stairs. She watched a cyclist pass with a soft bell. She stood there until her breath found a slow rhythm. Inside, she wrote one more line in her notes. He is building me out of old lines. She left the screen on the table. She went to bed early. In the morning, she woke before the alarm and stretched. The bracelet on the counter caught the first light. It looked harmless again at that hour. She made tea and kept the day simple. At lunch, a coworker asked what she did the night before. She said she met friends at a bar and called it a nice time. She did not give a name. She did not give a street. She felt better as soon as the words left her mouth. She would make her circles smaller and her shares cleaner. She did not need to move fast. She needed to be clear. Her phone buzzed. Kev asked if she wanted to try a new place tonight. He named the time and the corner. He said it would be easy and sweet. He added a photo of the menu with her favorite marked. She sent a short reply. Not tonight. She left it there. She lifted her bag and headed out to a meeting. The elevator hummed. The lobby smelled like paper and floor wax. Outside, a man with a dog stepped aside to let her pass. She said thank you and meant it. The day held real people with small, decent acts. That was the world she wanted to move in. Her likes had turned into a script in someone else's hands. Morning came easy. She made tea and drew up a small list for the day. Work, one errand, early night. She felt better with a plan. She kept her phone face down on the counter while water rolled in the kettle. A knock at the door broke the quiet. Kev stood there with a paper bag and a smile ready. He had the rhythm of someone who knew the best time to show up. He held fresh pastries and a box wrapped in plain paper. Thought you could use a calm start, he said. I brought you something that will make nights softer. She stepped back and let him in. He set the bag on the table and placed the box near the shelf with her old stereo. He looked at the corner like he already owned it. Open it, he said. Inside lay a smart speaker. Small, neutral color. He lifted it out and found the cord. He walked to the outlet like he had rehearsed the route. He did not ask where it should go. That corner is perfect, he said. Sound carries better. She watched his hands move. Leave it there for now, she said. We can decide later. He smiled. You will love it. I set one up for my aunt. It changed her life. He plugged it in. A small light blinked. He paired his phone and started a slow playlist. He turned the volume to a soft level and nodded like the room agreed. They ate in quiet. He asked for her plan for the day. He set small tests inside that talk. Call me when you take your break. Send a photo of the view from your office. Share your calendar so I can plan something nice. He wrapped each ask in care. I like you to feel held, he said. Let me be your first call. I have work, she said. I check in when I can. He nodded and tried again in a new shape. At least tell me when you get home. I worry. I will tell you if I want company, she said. No check-ins. It makes my head loud. He changed the subject to a show they could watch. Then he circled back. Give me your streaming login, he said. I can build you the perfect queue. Save you time. No, she said. I do not share passwords. It is not about the password, he said. It is about ease. I am good at this. I can fix your settings in 5 minutes. No passwords, she said again. No hidden access. He lifted his hands. I hear you. He asked if he could leave the speaker on. She looked at the shelf. She did not like it alive in her space. She did not want to fight at 8 in the morning. It stays in the living room, she said. It stays unplugged when I am not here. He laughed like it was cute. Sure. Totally. I will show you how to make it useful first. He stood close to the shelf and taught the device to hear a name. Music shifted. News headlines murmured. A voice offered to set alarms. He fed it a few commands and smiled at how quick it obeyed. She watched his face, not the light. He looked pleased. He looked like a person who had added a seat at a table. He left after another pastry. He kissed her cheek on the way out. Text me later, he said. Pause others keep me. She locked the door and let the room go quiet. The speaker sat like a small animal at rest. She unplugged it and wrapped the cord around the base. She placed a ceramic bowl in front of it like an extra wall. At work her morning moved with clean lines. She answered mail and wrote a draft. Her phone buzzed with a code she did not request. 6 digits from an account she used for travel. A minute later another code came from a photo service. Then one more from a food app she barely touched now. She looked at the timestamps and wrote them down. She did not click any link. She changed nothing yet. She only listed. Kev texted at noon. How is your morning? Send me a shot of your desk. I miss your face. Busy, she wrote. Call later if needed. He replied with a heart and a voice note full of care. He used a nickname she had shared with Lila in a voice note months ago. The sound made her chest tighten. She put the phone in her drawer and stepped away for air. After lunch he called. She let it ring out and wrote him a line. In a meeting. We'll call if needed. He tried again near 3. He said he could swing by to walk her home. He said he was already nearby. She did not answer. A coworker handed her a file and asked about a client. The day stayed simple when she kept to the next small task. Evening brought a second knock. She checked the peephole. Lila stood with a small plant and a thin smile. I was in the area, Lila said. This is for your window. Low light. Zero fuss. They sat on the couch. The speaker on the shelf felt like a third person. Lila glanced at it and then at Mara. Pretty, Lila said. Do you like it? It stays unplugged unless I use it, Mara said. It stays in this room. Fair, Lila said. She folded her hands. He means well. He tries too hard. He thinks effort equals love. Effort without consent is not love, Mara said. Lila nodded. You are right. The talk turned to work and family for a few minutes. Then Lila asked if Mara had told Kev about the job offer. The question landed with weight. Mara looked at her friend. No, she said. I told you. That is all. Lila bit her lip. He asked me how serious it was. He wanted to prepare a surprise. I said it was still a maybe. Mara kept her tone flat. Do not share my news. I am sorry, Lila said. I thought it would calm him. He gets nervous when he cannot plan. Not my problem, Mara said. My life is not a project. Lila nodded again. I hear you. Later, after Lila left, the room felt quieter. Mara washed 2 cups and put the plant near the window. Her phone buzzed with another code text. A different service. She wrote it down. She did not react on the phone. She kept her hands on the sink and breathed. Kev called again. She let it go to voicemail. He texted, I can help clean up your logins. I do this all the time for people. Give me the list and the main one. I will handle the rest. She typed 1 line. No passwords. No hidden access. He answered with a thumbs up and a joke to shave off the edge. He sent a photo of his dog to soften the mood. Then he tried a sweet line about making her life easy if she would let him. She set the phone down. She did not reply. That night she read a chapter of a book with her lamp on low. She kept the speaker unplugged. She listened for the building's ordinary sounds. A neighbor's keys, water in the pipe, shoes on the stairs. The ordinary calmed her. In the morning she woke to a calendar invite from Kev that blocked her evening. It listed a dinner at a place he knew she liked. It also added travel time and a note that said permission to share location for the night. He had sent it as if they were a team at work. She declined the invite without a note. She took a photo of the page for her file. She made tea and wrote a short line on a card. Clear rules. Clear talk. Clear space. On the train a code text flashed again. She watched the sender name. Same service as the first day. She exhaled and stared at the ceiling of the car. She would do an audit soon with help. She would not break her own rule by running fast and alone. Work stayed steady. She ate lunch outside. She looked up at the clean slice of sky between 2 buildings and felt a small lift. Her phone buzzed 3 times in a row. Kev wanted to drop off a charger. He wanted her apartment number to send flowers. He wanted the make and model of her router to fix the slow spots. She wrote 1 sentence. I have what I need. He wrote back, let me be useful. Pause others keep me. She put the phone away. After work she stopped at a small store for batteries and a notebook. She liked paper when her head got crowded. At home she set the speaker on a tray and slid it farther from the couch. She wrote 3 pages by hand. What she had told him. What he had guessed. What arrived at her door without a request. A neighbor knocked to ask about a package. They traded boxes. They laughed about the mix-up and the slow elevator. The talk grounded her in the ordinary again. She needed the ordinary like bread. Later, she sat with Lila's plant and watered it with care. The leaves drank slow. She sent Lila a photo of the plant and wrote, Thank you for this. Then she added, Remember my line. No sharing my news. Lila replied, I remember. I am with you. Night brought a soft wind through the window. Mara turned a single song on her old stereo and let it play once. She preferred old tools she could see. No accounts. No voice awake in the corner. She brushed her teeth and set her alarm. At 2 in the morning a code text lit the room. She did not open it. She watched it fade and sleep returned in pieces. At 6 she woke and wrote the time of that text in the notebook. She made toast and stood by the sink. Her phone rang at 8. Kev again. She answered this time to set a tone. Morning, she said. Good, he said. I was worried when you did not reply last night. I sent a calendar thing so your night would be easy. My night was my choice, she said. Please stop sending invites. I am only trying to help, he said. Let me fix the mess. Give me your main password. I can reset everything. You will be safe in 10 minutes. No, she said. No passwords. No hidden access. He sighed. You do not trust me. I trust my rules, she said. You can stand with them or outside them. He shifted. Share your location with me when you move around. One night. It will help me calm down. My safety is not your project, she said. He softened his voice. He told a story about a friend who got in trouble because she did not tell someone where she was. He made her choice sound like a danger. He wrapped the push in care again. "I hear that story," she said. "I will not share my live location." Silence held the line. Then he said he had to jump. He said he would check on her later. She hung up and let her shoulders drop. Work cut the noise for most of the day. The odd codes kept coming. She kept writing them down. She put her phone in the drawer when she needed quiet. She picked up her pen when her thoughts wanted to spiral. The pen slowed them down. By evening she had a plan. She would sit with a trusted coworker and do a clean audit. She would bring the list and her phone and move step by step. No rush. No panic. Only changes she could name and explain. She looked at the speaker on the shelf. The cord hung loose. The bowl in front of it felt small now. She unplugged the cord from the base and put both pieces in a bag. She set the bag by the door to take to the closet. The shelf looked better at once. Her phone buzzed. Lila sent a short line. "Dinner this week. My treat. No surprises. Proud of you." Mara smiled and sent a heart. She wrote a new line in her notebook under the day's notes. Boundary line stayed strong. No passwords. No hidden access. Device stays in the living room. She put the notebook away and watched the window turn dark. The city made its usual sounds again. She breathed with it. She held her room in her own hands. The room listened even when no one spoke. They met after work in a small conference room with glass walls and a door that shut clean. Rena from IT brought tea and a legal pad. She was steady and kind. She said they would look only, change nothing, and write down what they saw. They started with the phone. Rena asked for the passcode and turned the screen so they could both see. She opened the permissions list. Microphone, camera, contacts, location. "Speak out loud what we touch," Rena said. One line per screen. Mara nodded. Permissions. Music app has microphone. Photo app has camera and location. Notes has microphone. "Do you use the mic in Notes?" Rena asked. "No," Mara said. Rena circled it on the pad. "Not proof of harm." "Still odd," she said. They opened location services. A long list of apps showed always, while using, or never. A social app sat near the top with always. "I do not remember setting that," Mara said. Rena tapped into it. A small map preview showed dots from the past week. The bodega corner was marked at 7:42 p.m., the night of the bench. Rena took a photo of the screen with a second phone and wrote the time. "Screenshot saved," she said. They moved to shared albums. One album near the top had auto-add enabled. It was run by a friend from the group chat. The album had a rule that any photo taken with a certain filter would drop in. "This is how your bench photo got scooped up," Rena said. "Auto-add is a conveyor belt." Mara scrolled. She saw a frame with two people on a bench. She saw the little gray word that said shared 4 minutes after capture. She saw that comments were on for anyone in the circle. Rena took 2 more screenshots with the second phone. "We are building a timeline," she said. "Not a case. A simple line of events." They opened accounts. Rena walked her through active sessions. A list of devices showed recent logins. One listed as a tablet with a name that did not belong to Mara. Another as a web session from a network she did not know. "Could be a coffee shop," Rena said. "Could be someone else. We note it and keep moving." Mara read the device name again. It used 3 letters and a number. The pattern matched how Kev named his bike and his playlists. She did not say it yet. She pointed to the 3 letters on the screen. Rena saw the look and wrote the string on the pad. They opened a messaging app and scrolled up in the thread with Lila. On a date last month, Mara had sent a voice note about the lighthouse charm line. Next to it now sat a small arrow and a gray word, forwarded. Rena tapped the gray word. It opened details. Forwarded to one contact at 9:18 p.m. The contact name had a simple alias, K Arcade. The last 4 numbers matched the last 4 in Kev's contact card. Mara felt her hands warm. She breathed slow. "That is him," she said. Rena kept her tone even. "We say the alias ties to a number that matches his," she said. She took a screenshot with the second phone and wrote the time. They opened call history. Rena drew a fast grid on the pad and wrote time blocks down the left. She marked the night at the bar. She marked the morning of the speaker. She marked the bench night. They looked for clusters. Lila to Kev at 7:29 p.m. on the bench night. Kev to Mara at 7:47 p.m. with the T text. Lila to Mara at 7:48 p.m. with a sticker. Rena nodded. "We do not say cause," she said. We say sequence. They checked the calendar app for invites. The dinner block from Kev showed permission notes in the description. Rena captured the screen and the metadata line with created by and last edited. Good to keep, she said. They opened the contact card for Kev. At the bottom sat linked contacts. One was the Alias K arcade. Another was a short handle she had seen once on his gym bag. Rena wrote both. They moved to photos. Rena opened a recent image. She tapped the info button. A small map popped and a list of places where the photo had been viewed or shared. The shared album circle glowed. This is why location tags feel like magic to people who want patterns, Rena said. It is not magic. It is settings. Mara nodded. End all sharing that tracks me without a clear yes, she said, half to the room and half to herself. Rena lifted a hand. Good line, she said. Put it in your rules later. They opened a second messaging app and searched for Kev's number. A result in an old group thread lit up. He had been added under the alias handle for 1 week last winter. He had left after the week. The thread had been quiet since. A pinned map in that thread still showed who had shared location during a weekend event. Does he still have this? Mara asked. Maps like this can be saved as screenshots, Rena said. We do not guess. We only see what is here. They scrolled back to the night of the cafe coincidence. A call from Lila to Kev showed at 5 minutes before he arrived. A missed call from Kev to Mara sat at 1 minute before he walked in. Sequence, Rena said again. She wrote the times. They checked email for new login notices. 2 sat unread from the same week as the code texts. A login from a city where Kev had a friend. A device type he used. Rena photographed the headers. We never share full emails, she said. Headers show enough. They prove a login pattern. They also prove you did not act on the codes. Mara looked at the neat rows of notes on the pad. Dates. Times. App names. The arrow by the forwarded voice note. The alias letters with the last 4 digits. Rena closed the phone and set it between them. We can do 2 more checks today, she said. Account recovery options. And who has your live location right now? Account recovery listed 2 emails and a number that were Mara's. No unknown backups. Good. Location sharing showed 1 person with access, Lila. It also showed 2 old event threads where a map link stayed visible to anyone who still had the thread saved. Those maps live until someone deletes them, Rena said. Again, not proof of misuse. Just exposure. Mara sat back. He knew the corner. He knew the drink. He knew the phrase from the voice note. He knew the book. He knew the bar. Rena kept her voice low. We will keep our verbs careful, she said. He said things that match items in your apps and threads. We now have when those items were visible to people around him. That is the line we can draw. They took a short break. Rena poured the last of the tea. The room felt steady. The glass walls blurred to a soft mirror in the low light. When they sat again, Rena opened the photos settings and read out loud. Shared albums on. Auto add-on for 1 album. People in that circle can see locations and comments. She closed it without changing anything. She opened the social app that had always on location. She tapped through the privacy screens. A page showed show my location to close friends. The list included Lila and 2 others from the bar. It did not include Kev. Below that sat a toggle for allow friends to share your posts to their circles. Rena took 1 last screenshot with the second phone. We are done for today, she said. You have enough to make choices. You do not need my tools to decide who to talk to first. Mara watched her own reflection in the glass and felt the tightness in her chest ease. She did not feel hunted by fog now. She felt the edge of a map. I confront Lila first, she said, thinking out loud. Clean. Private. Then I send 1 clear message to him. Rena nodded. If you want me in the room, say so, she said. Either way, keep the talk short. No debates. Only rules. Mara gathered her things. Rena handed her the list of times and the copied screenshots on a small thumb drive to hold for reference. Keep these off your phone for now, Rena said. Paper and separate storage are fine. Mara slipped the drive into a small inner pocket in her bag. She put her phone in her coat. She thanked Rena and walked into the hall. Outside, the sky was the soft blue that comes right before dark. She stood at the curb and watched cars move past in a steady line. The city felt normal again. People walked dogs. Someone laughed near a food cart. A bus hissed and turned. Her phone buzzed. Lila sent a heart and a photo of the plant in sunlight. A minute later, Kev sent a question. Dinner tonight. 7:15. Table is waiting. Mara did not answer either one. She crossed the street and headed for the train. On the ride home, she wrote 3 lines in her notebook. Forwarded voice note from Lila to Kay. Arcade at 9:18 p.m. active session device name that matches his pattern. Shared album auto ad pushed the bench photo 4 minutes after capture. She closed the book. She looked up. She let the motion of the car carry her. At home, she set her bag on the chair and washed her hands. She glanced at the shelf where the speaker had sat. The tray was empty now. The room felt hers again. She did not make a plan in that moment. She did not change a setting. She did not reset a device. She only stood in her own kitchen and let the facts settle. Now she had dates, names, and a trail. Noon sun pressed on the cafe glass. Mara picked a table by the window so the talk could stay plain. Lila arrived with 2 waters and a face that looked like she had not slept well. I will keep this short, Mara said. I have a few clean questions. Lila nodded. Okay. Did you forward my voice note about the lighthouse line? Lila looked down. Yes. I sent it to him once. He was planning a surprise. He kept asking. I wanted him to chill. Did you tell him about the job offer? I said it was a maybe. I thought it would stop him from guessing in public. It did not. Did you loop him before the bar night? I texted him on the way. I told him we might be there. I did not say you for sure. He said he was nearby already. Mara kept her tone steady. Thank you for the truth. Lila's eyes wet fast. She wiped them with the edge of a napkin. I thought I was helping. He pushes. He makes it feel like if I do not answer, I am the bad friend. Pressure is not consent, Mara said. Here are my rules going forward. She set a small card on the table and read it out. No surprise visits. No device gifts. No account access. Lila swallowed. I can do that. Add one more line, Mara said. Do not share my location, habits, or plans without my clear yes. I will not, Lila said. I am sorry. I broke trust. I believe you are sorry, Mara said. Repair takes consistency. It starts today. They sat quiet for a minute. Street sounds floated in and out when the door opened. Lila folded the napkin into a small square. He told me he worries about you, Lila said. He says you push people away when you are stressed. He makes his needs sound noble. My stress is not his project, Mara said. I choose who gets what and when. Lila nodded. Do you want me to tell him to back off? No. I will tell him myself, Mara said. You can hold your own line with him. I will, Lila said. If he asks me anything about you, I will say to ask you. Good, Mara said. They paid and stepped into the light. On the sidewalk, Lila started to hug her, then waited. Mara opened her arms. The hug was brief and honest. Dinner this week, Lila said. I will not bring anyone. No surprises. We will see, Mara said. Thank you for meeting me. Mara walked 2 blocks to a small park with a bench under a plane tree. She took out her phone and wrote a single message to Kev. Clear rules. No surprise visits. No device gifts. No account access. Do not add events to my calendar. Do not ask for passwords. Do not request my live location. If you want to see me, ask. If I say no, accept it. She read it twice to check tone. It was clean. It did not invite debate. She hit send. He replied fast. Wow, that's harsh. I was trying to show up for you. She answered, these are my rules. If you respect them, we are fine. If not, we are done. He wrote nothing for 5 minutes. The blank space felt like a door held open. She put the phone in her bag and watched a kid chase a pigeon in slow circles. 10 minutes later, he sent a block of text. It started soft. I get it. I hear you. It moved to guilt. You know my anxiety. You know I only try this hard because I care. It ended with a small push. Share your location for tonight. One night. I will sleep. She typed 1 line. No. He tried again. At least put me on your calendar as a contact who can add holds. It keeps things easy. No, she wrote. Stop asking. Another pause. Then the swing to sweet. A selfie with his dog. A note about missing her laugh. A memory from a month ago with just enough warmth to pull. She left the messages unread. She stood and walked to the corner. The light turned. She crossed. At home, she put water on the stove and opened the window. The plant Lila brought set a small green mood on the sill. She took her notebook out and wrote the date. She listed the 3 rules again and drew a square around them. No surprise visits. No device gifts. No account access. She wrote what Lila had said about pressure. She wrote how the questions landed. She kept her verbs tight. Said, sent, forwarded, asked, admitted. She let the facts sit without decoration. Her phone buzzed. Kev sent a final text for the day. Okay, I will give you space. But you know I am the only one who truly sees you. She did not reply. She turned the phone face down. The room warmed with late light. She ate, washed the cup, and wiped the counter. She closed the notebook and slid it back to the shelf. Lila texted a photo of the plant and wrote, "Thank you for hearing me. I will do better." Mara sent a short heart and nothing else. Repair would live in actions now. Outside, the street held small, good sounds again. A cart rolled by. Two voices traded a joke. A neighbor hummed on the stairs. She looked at the empty spot where the speaker had sat and felt air move where control had tried to take root. She had not changed a setting today. She had not reset a device. She had set rules with people. It was the step she needed. Her phone lit with one more line from Kev. "I will pick you up at 7 if you change your mind." She deleted the message and returned to her breath. She cut 3 cords in one day. The first crisis text landed at 8:02 a.m. "Emergency. Call me now." Mara set the phone down and finished her tea. She called at 8:30 from her desk phone with the door shut. "What is the emergency?" she asked. "I twisted my ankle." "I need a ride," he said. "Call a car," she said. "I am at work." He shifted tone. "I thought you cared." "I do not do emergencies by text," she said. "Contact stays on text. No unannounced visits." She hung up. She wrote the time in her notebook. By noon, the 2-factor codes started again. One from a storage app. One from her bank. One from a music service she barely used. She did not click. She did not reset. She only wrote the times and the senders. At 2, a mutual messaged. "Kev says you are cold. Did you two fight?" Mara replied, "I set boundaries. They stand." "Sounds harsh," the mutual wrote. "Clear as kind," Mara wrote back. She left it there. After work, she met Rena in the same small room. They moved in order. "Passwords," Rena said. "Unique. Written once on paper. Stored offline." They picked a short phrase system Mara could remember. No names. No dates. No reused words. Rena watched while Mara changed the first 5 accounts. They crossed each one off on paper and did not save anything to the phone. "Location," Rena said. Mara opened settings. She turned off always for the social app. She set never for 3 others she did not need. She removed Lila from live sharing for now and texted her a heads up. "I am off location for a while." "Photos," Rena said. Mara turned off auto add. She left the shared album, then removed herself from 2 old event threads that still held a map. She toggled off comments on her own albums. "Speaker," Rena said. "It is unplugged," Mara said. "I plan to wipe it." "Factory reset today," Rena said. "Then box it. Do not donate until this is quiet." They walked to Mara's place after work. The super sat in the office by the mailboxes. He looked up with a kind face. "I need a note on my file," Mara said. "No visitors without my okay. Call me if anyone asks for my floor. This person is not allowed up." She wrote Kev's name on a small card and handed it over. The super nodded and clipped it to a board. "Any trouble, you call me," he said. Upstairs, Rena showed her the reset steps. They held the buttons until the light blinked and the device went clean. They put it in a box and taped the lid shut. Mara wrote the date on the top and slid it into the back of the closet. Her phone buzzed. "Kev again. Where have you been? I waited outside for you. You did not answer." She typed one line. "Do not come to my building." He replied with a stream of messages. Some sweet, some sharp. One called her paranoid. One said she was being turned against him. One asked for her main password so he could end the noise. She put the phone face down and exhaled. Rena nodded toward the table. "Script helps," she said. They wrote one together. "Contact stays on text. No unannounced visits. No passwords. No device gifts. Do not add events to my calendar. Do not request my live location." Mara saved it as a note she could paste when needed. The next morning, she met a counselor on her lunch break. A steady woman in a quiet office. They named what Kev was doing. Tests. Love bomb. Guilt. Smear. The counselor gave her 2 short tools. 1. Keep replies brief. 2. Ask one question when the push comes. What am I responsible for today? I am responsible for my rules, Mara said. I am not responsible for his feelings about them. Good, the counselor said. Keep your world small. That afternoon, Kev tried a new angle. I lost my wallet. I need your help with bank calls. No, she wrote. Just give me your login so I can fix it, he wrote. No, she wrote. Call your bank. He switched to the smear. He told a mutual that Mara had been seeing someone else. The mutual sent the rumor back to her with a sad face. Mara replied, not true. Please do not pass it. Then she muted the thread for a week. The codes kept coming. She changed 5 more passwords that night. She added offline recovery keys for 2 accounts. She printed the keys and slipped them into an envelope. She wrote the date and tucked it beside the thumb drive in the inner pocket of her bag. She removed herself from the group chat for now. She sent a short line before she left. I am stepping back. Do not post me. Ask before you share me. Then she pressed leave. Kev called at 9. She let it ring out. He left a message that swung from tender to angry. He said he would wait outside if he had to. She copied her script and pasted it into a new text. Contact stays on text. No unannounced visits. He sent 3 dots that sat there, then vanished. Mara slept in pieces. In the morning she took her notes, the screenshots Rena had saved, and her list of times to the local precinct window. She asked for a non-emergency report. The desk officer listened and typed while she read from her list. This is a pattern, the officer said. You are doing the right thing by documenting. Mara asked for a case number. The officer wrote it on a small card and slid it to her. If he shows up at your door again after your clear message, call us, the officer said. If the messages escalate, save them. Do not reply beyond your rules. She walked out into the light and felt the ground under her feet. She was not waiting in a fog anymore. She had steps. She had a number to reference. She had a plan for the next time he tried a new door. At work, she told her manager she would be off the grid for personal reasons after 6. She kept the line short and clean. The manager said okay and offered support. Lila texted at lunch. I told him to stop asking me about you. I blocked him. I will earn back your trust. Thank you, Mara wrote. Keep your settings tight. A new number texted at 3. Hey, this is Kev's friend. He is worried. Where are you? Mara blocked the number and logged the time. She wrote one line to herself. Do not chase fires others light. That evening she spoke with the super again. Anyone ask for me? She asked. A man came by, he said. I told him no. I called your phone. He left. Mara thanked him and brought a box of tea to leave in the office. Small kindness for a small kindness. She cooked simple food and ate by the window. She read a chapter. She put her phone in a bowl by the door and let it sit. When she picked it up later, there were 4 new messages from Kev that rose and fell in tone. She pasted her script once and put the phone away again. The next day, she moved her 2 most sensitive accounts to new emails she made that morning. She wrote the addresses on paper. She did not store them on the phone. Rena checked her settings one more time and smiled. You are in good shape, Rena said. You have tightened the places that mattered. What about the group noise? Mara asked. It will cool when it stops getting a response, Rena said. Let people talk to empty air. By the weekend, the codes slowed. The smears thinned. A mutual who had passed a rumor sent a short apology. I should have asked you first. Thank you, Mara wrote. Hold that line in the future. She cleaned her apartment and opened the windows. She watered the plant and wiped the shelf where the speaker had sat. She put on a record and let one song cover the room. Her phone stayed quiet for an hour. Then a final push arrived. You win, Kev wrote. You ruined something that could have been great. I hope you are happy. She read it once and did not reply. She logged the time. She slid the notebook back into its place. Night came soft. The building settled. She could hear the elevator cables in the shaft. She could hear a neighbor laugh. She could hear her own breath. Silence returned. She could hear her own thoughts again. Late afternoon light slid across her floor. Mara set 4 chairs in a circle and a bowl of grapes on the table. The doorbell rang twice. Friends stepped in with quiet faces. Lila arrived last and waited by the door until Mara nodded her in. Thank you for coming, Mara said. I want to show you a few things. Then I want us to agree on rules. They sat. She kept it simple. She opened a fresh notebook and held up 1 page at a time. First page, a clean list titled What I Changed. Unique passwords. Location off for most apps. Shared albums off. Comments off. Speaker reset and boxed. Super notified. Non-emergency report filed. No drama, she said. Only steps I can explain. Second page, what I saw. A forwarded voice note. A device alias that tied to a number. Auto ad on a friend's album. A calendar invite with permission notes. She did not pass the papers. She did not ask for debate. She read each line and set the page down. I am not here to accuse, she said. I am here to protect my peace. Heads nodded around the circle. Lila kept her hands folded tight. She met Mara's eyes and held them. Mara pointed to the third page. Group rules if you want me in your life. Ask before you post my face. Ask before you share my plans. Ask before you turn on location. Do not add me to an album without a clear yes. Do not forward my words. If you break a rule, own it and stop the leak. Plain talk saves friendships, Mara said. I want this group to feel safe again. They went one by one. A friend who loved candid photos agreed to turn off auto ad. Another offered to create a private list for people who wanted to opt out by default. The last friend said he would stop tagging people at live events. He held up his phone and changed 2 settings on the spot. Lila spoke next. I broke trust, she said. I will rebuild it by asking first and keeping my phone quiet. I blocked him. I will not smooth over pushes again. What does repair look like to you? Mara asked. I show you with actions, Lila said. If I slip, I say it fast and fix it. If someone presses me about you, I send them to you. Mara nodded. That is what I need. They stood and crossed to the counter. Mara walked them through one simple audit on their own phones. Location set to while using for maps. Never for apps that did not need it. Shared album checks. Comment settings. Close friends lists trimmed to people who asked to be there. No one rolled eyes. No one made jokes to cut the weight. The room felt like a class where everyone wanted to pass. They returned to the chairs. Mara kept her voice even. If you take my photo, ask first. If you want to share my plan, ask first. If you are not sure, do not share. She paused. Ask before you share me. Lila repeated the line out loud. The others did too. The words sat in the air like a simple sign on a door. They planned 2 small things for the week. A walk with phones on airplane mode. A dinner where no one posted a thing. Someone offered to bring a card game. Someone else offered to cook. Mara watched the tension drop from her shoulders. It was not about cutting people out. It was about changing how they held each other. She could feel the shift in the room. Her phone buzzed once on the table. She flipped it face down and looked at the circle. I will bake something for dessert, she said. No photos of the mess. Everyone laughed. The laugh was light. It did not hide pain. It opened a window. They hugged at the door one by one. Lila waited again. Thank you for letting me try, she said. Keep your actions clean, Mara said. We will build from there. When the door closed, the apartment felt quiet and safe. She washed the bowl and wiped the counter. She wrote 4 words on a new page and dated it. Ask before you share me. She set the notebook down and opened the window. The evening moved across her floor. Her phone stayed silent. Control lost its grip when the group agreed on bright lines.